Let me take you back to the early 1900s, a time when a young journalist named Napoleon Hill was given an assignment that would change his life, and eventually the lives of millions. His task: to interview the wealthiest and most successful people of his era, including the legendary industrialist Andrew Carnegie. What Hill discovered during those interviews wasn't just a secret to making money, it was a blueprint for achieving any goal in life. Carnegie believed that the principles of success could be distilled into a formula, and he challenged Hill to spend the next 20 years uncovering it. Hill accepted the challenge, and the result was Think and Grow Rich, a book that has sold over 100 million copies worldwide. But this isn't just a book about money, it's about the power of thought, the science of achievement, and the art of turning dreams into reality. Imagine this: you're standing at the edge of a vast, uncharted territory. The map in your hands isn't made of paper, it's made of your thoughts, your desires, and your beliefs. Think and Grow Rich is that map. It's a guide to navigating the terrain of your mind, unlocking its hidden potential, and creating the life you've always dreamed of. So, what's the secret? It all starts with one word: desire. Hill tells the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who had a burning desire to work with the great inventor Thomas Edison. Barnes didn't have money, connections, or even a clear plan. But he had something far more powerful, an unshakable belief in his dream. He traveled to Orange, New Jersey, and walked into Edison's office with nothing but determination. At first, Edison saw him as just another ambitious young man, but Barnes refused to give up. He took a low-paying job, worked tirelessly, and waited for his opportunity. Years later, he became Edison's business partner and achieved his dream. What separated Barnes from everyone else? It wasn't luck or talent, it was the intensity of his desire. Hill calls this definiteness of purpose. When you know exactly what you want and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it, the universe conspires to help you. But desire alone isn't enough. You need a plan, persistence, and the ability to overcome fear and doubt. Over the next 50 minutes, we'll explore the 13 principles Hill uncovered. Principles that have transformed the lives of countless individuals, from entrepreneurs to artists to everyday people chasing their dreams. So are you ready to unlock the secrets of success? Let's dive into the first principle: desire. But before we go any further, let me ask you this. What is it that you truly desire? Not just what you think you can achieve, but what you dare to dream. Because as you'll soon discover, your thoughts are the seeds of your future. Part 2. The power of desire and definiteness of purpose. Let's dive deeper into the first principle of Think and Grow Rich: desire. Napoleon Hill doesn't just talk about wishful thinking or daydreaming, he's talking about a burning desire, a relentless, all-consuming hunger for something that keeps you awake at night and drives you to take action no matter the obstacles. Hill shares a powerful story about R.U. Darby, a man who struck gold, literally. Darby and his uncle were digging for gold in Colorado, and after weeks of hard work, they finally found a vein of ore. Excited, they shipped it to a smelter and discovered it was one of the richest deposits in the state. They bought machinery, dug deeper, and were on the verge of becoming wealthy. But then, the vein disappeared. Frustrated and defeated, Darby and his uncle sold their equipment to a junk man for a few $100s and gave up. But here's the twist. The junk man hired a mining engineer to investigate, and they discovered the vein was just 3 feet from where Darby had stopped digging. 3 feet. That's all that stood between Darby and his fortune. What's the lesson here? Defeat is often just a test. It's the universe asking, how badly do you want this? Darby didn't want it badly enough, but Hill tells us that if your desire is strong enough, you'll find a way to keep going, even when the odds seem impossible. So how do you cultivate this kind of desire? Hill gives us a 6-step formula. Be specific. Decide exactly how much money you want or what goal you want to achieve. Vague desires lead to vague results. Determine what you're willing to give in return. Success isn't free. It requires effort, sacrifice, and persistence. Set a deadline. Give yourself a clear time frame to achieve your goal. Create a plan. Write down exactly how you'll achieve your desire and start taking action immediately. Write a clear statement. Summarize your goal, the steps you'll take, and the deadline. Read your statement aloud twice a day, once when you wake up and once before you go to sleep. This keeps your desire at the forefront of your mind. Hill emphasizes that this isn't just about money. It's about any goal you want to achieve. Whether it's building a business, writing a book, or improving your health, the same principles apply. But here's the catch. Desire alone isn't enough. You need to back it up with faith. Faith is the unshakable belief that you will achieve your goal, no matter what. Hill says that faith is a state of mind that can be cultivated through repetition. By constantly affirming your belief in yourself and your ability to succeed. He tells the story of a man who lost everything in the Great Depression. Broke and desperate, he locked himself in a room and wrote down all the qualities he admired in the people he wanted to emulate. He read that list every day, visualizing himself as the kind of person who could overcome any challenge. Slowly but surely, he rebuilt his life and became more successful than ever before. What made the difference? His faith in himself. He refused to let failure define him. Instead, he used it as fuel to keep moving forward. So, as you think about your own desires, ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you ready to dig 3 feet deeper even when it feels like all hope is lost? Because that's the kind of desire that changes lives. Part 3. The role of faith and autosuggestion. Now that we've talked about the power of desire, let's move to the second principle. Faith. Napoleon Hill defines faith as a state of mind that can be cultivated through repetition and belief. It's not just blind optimism, it's a deep, unshakable conviction that you will achieve your goals no matter the obstacles. Hill shares a fascinating concept called autosuggestion. This is the idea that your subconscious mind is like a fertile garden. Whatever thoughts you plant there, whether positive or negative, will grow and manifest in your life. Autosuggestion is the tool you use to plant those seeds. Here's how it works. Every day, you feed your mind with positive affirmations and visualizations of your goals. You see yourself already achieving what you desire, and you feel the emotions that come with that success. Over time, your subconscious mind accepts these thoughts as reality, and it begins to guide your actions toward making them come true. Hill tells the story of a man who wanted to become the president of his company. Every night before bed, he would close his eyes and visualize himself sitting in the president's chair, making decisions and leading the organization. He didn't just see it, he felt it. He felt the confidence, the pride, and the satisfaction of achieving his goal. Months later, something incredible happened. The company's president unexpectedly resigned, and the board of directors offered the position to this man. Why? Because his belief in himself had transformed his actions. He carried himself with confidence, took on more responsibility, and inspired those around him. His faith had become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But faith isn't just about visualization, it's also about taking action. Hill emphasizes that faith without works is dead. You can't just sit back and wait for success to come to you. You have to actively pursue it, even when the path isn't clear. He shares another story about a young woman who dreamed of becoming a singer. She had talent, but she lacked confidence. Every time she performed, she was paralyzed by fear. One day, she decided to use autosuggestion to overcome her doubts. She wrote down a statement affirming her talent and her ability to succeed. She read it aloud every morning and every night, visualizing herself performing with confidence and receiving applause. Slowly but surely, her mindset began to shift. She started performing more often, and each time she felt a little more confident. Eventually, she landed a major opportunity and became a successful singer. Her faith in herself had transformed her reality. So how can you apply this principle in your own life? Start by writing down a clear, positive statement about your goal. For example, I am confident, capable, and successful in achieving my dreams. Read it aloud twice a day and visualize yourself already living that reality. Feel the emotions that come with it: joy, pride, gratitude. Over time, your subconscious mind will begin to align your actions with your desires. But remember, faith isn't just about believing in yourself, it's also about believing in the process. There will be setbacks and challenges along the way, but if you hold on to your faith, you'll find a way to overcome them. Part 4. Specialized knowledge and organized planning. Now that we've covered desire and faith, let's dive into the third principle: specialized knowledge. Napoleon Hill makes it clear that general knowledge alone won't lead to success. What you need is specialized knowledge, specific information and skills that are directly related to your goals. Hill shares a story about Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motor Company. Ford was once sued by a man who claimed he wasn't intelligent because he couldn't answer basic questions about history, science, and literature. During the trial, Ford calmly explained that he didn't need to know everything. He had a team of experts who could answer those questions for him. What Ford did have was specialized knowledge, the ability to organize, lead, and innovate. That's what made him one of the richest and most successful men in the world. The lesson here is simple. You don't have to be an expert in everything, but you do need to become an expert in the areas that matter most to your goals. Whether it's mastering a skill, understanding an industry, or learning how to market yourself, specialized knowledge is the foundation of success. So how do you acquire this knowledge? Hill gives us a few key strategies. Identify what you need to learn. Be clear about the specific knowledge and skills required to achieve your goal. Seek out experts. Learn from people who have already achieved what you want to achieve. Read their books, take their courses, or even reach out to them for advice. Take action. Knowledge is useless unless you apply it. Start using what you learn, even if it's in small ways. But specialized knowledge alone isn't enough. You also need organized planning. Hill emphasizes that success doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of careful planning and consistent effort. He tells the story of a man who wanted to start a business but didn't have any money. Instead of giving up, he created a detailed plan. He identified a product people needed, found a way to produce it cheaply, and developed a strategy to market it. He then presented his plan to a group of investors who were so impressed by his preparation that they agreed to fund his business. Within a few years, he was a millionaire. What made the difference? His ability to plan and execute. Hill provides a step-by-step guide for creating your own plan. Form a mastermind group. Surround yourself with people who have the skills and knowledge you lack. Together, you can achieve far more than you could alone. Be flexible. No plan is perfect. Be willing to adapt and adjust as you go. Take responsibility. Don't blame others if things go wrong. Learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. Hill also warns against procrastination. He says that indecision and delay are the enemies of success. If you wait for the perfect moment, it will never come. The best time to start is now. Part 5. The Power of Persistence and Overcoming Failure. Now that we've explored desire, faith, specialized knowledge, and organized planning, let's move to one of the most critical principles in Think and Grow Rich: persistence. Napoleon Hill calls persistence the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. In other words, it's the ability to keep going no matter how many times you fall down. Hill shares a powerful story about Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. Edison failed thousands of times before he finally succeeded. When a reporter asked him how it felt to fail so many times, Edison famously replied, "I didn't fail, I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work." What made Edison different? His persistence. He didn't see failure as the end, he saw it as a stepping stone to success. And that's the mindset Hill wants us to adopt. But let's be honest, persistence isn't easy. It requires courage, discipline, and an unshakable belief in your goal. Hill gives us a few key strategies for developing persistence. Have a definite purpose. When you know exactly what you want, it's easier to stay focused and motivated. Create a plan. A clear roadmap helps you stay on track even when things get tough. Surround yourself with positive influences. Negative people can drain your energy and weaken your resolve. Seek out those who inspire and encourage you. Build a habit of finishing what you start. Don't give up on tasks or projects halfway through. Train yourself to see things through to the end. Hill also emphasizes the importance of learning from failure. He tells the story of a man who lost his entire fortune in the stock market crash of 1929. Instead of giving up, he analyzed his mistakes, learned from them, and started over. Within a few years, he had not only regained his wealth, but also built an even larger fortune. What's the lesson here? Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger. But here's the thing, persistence isn't just about pushing through challenges, it's also about knowing when to pivot. Hill warns against stubbornness, the kind of persistence that keeps you banging your head against a wall, even when it's clear the wall isn't going to move. True persistence is flexible. It's about finding new ways to achieve your goal, even if it means changing your approach. So how can you cultivate persistence in your own life? Start by setting small, achievable goals and committing to them. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and learn from your losses. Over time, you'll build the mental toughness you need to tackle bigger challenges. Part 6. The Mastermind Principle and the Power of Collaboration. Now that we've talked about persistence, let's dive into one of the most fascinating principles in Think and Grow Rich, the mastermind. Napoleon Hill defines the mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people who work toward a definite purpose. In other words, it's about surrounding yourself with the right people, those who can help you achieve your goals. Hill shares a story about Andrew Carnegie, the industrialist who became one of the richest men in history. Carnegie credited much of his success to his mastermind group, a team of experts who work together to solve problems, share ideas, and support each other's growth. Carnegie believed that no one could achieve greatness alone. Success, he said, is a team effort. So how does the mastermind principle work? It's based on the idea that when two or more minds come together, they create a third mind that is greater than the sum of its parts. This collective intelligence can generate ideas, solutions, and opportunities that none of the individuals could have come up with on their own. Hill gives us a few key guidelines for building a mastermind group. Choose the right people. Look for individuals who have skills, knowledge, or perspectives that complement your own. They should be positive, motivated, and committed to achieving their own goals. Define a clear purpose. Your group should have a shared vision or objective. This could be anything from building a business to improving your health to mastering a new skill. Meet regularly. Consistency is key. Whether it's weekly, monthly, or quarterly, make sure your group meets regularly to share progress, brainstorm ideas, and offer support. Contribute value. The mastermind principle is a two-way street. You should be just as committed to helping others as you are to receiving help. Hill also emphasizes the importance of harmony within the group. If there's tension or negativity, it can undermine the collective energy and effectiveness. That's why it's crucial to choose people who share your values and vision. But the mastermind principle isn't just about formal groups. It's also about the people you surround yourself with in your everyday life. Hill warns that negative influences, whether they're friends, family, or colleagues, can hold you back from achieving your goals. He tells the story of a man who dreamed of starting his own business but was constantly discouraged by his family. They told him it was too risky, that he should stick to his stable job. Eventually, he gave up on his dream and spent the rest of his life regretting it. The lesson here is clear. Your environment matters. If you want to achieve greatness, you need to surround yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you, and push you to be your best. So as you think about your own goals, ask yourself, who are the people in your life who inspire and support you? And who might be holding you back? Building a mastermind group, or even just finding a mentor or accountability partner, can make all the difference. Part 8. The Subconscious Mind and the Power of Thought Vibrations. Now that we've explored the power of collaboration through the mastermind principle, let's dive into two of the most fascinating and interconnected principles in Think and Grow Rich: the subconscious mind and the brain, or the power of thought vibrations. These principles reveal how your thoughts shape your reality and how you can harness this power to achieve your goals. The subconscious mind, your silent partner in success. Napoleon Hill describes the subconscious mind as a mental magnet that attracts thoughts, ideas, and opportunities aligned with your dominant desires. It's like a fertile garden. Whatever seeds you plant there, whether positive or negative, will grow and manifest in your life. Hill shares a story about a man who struggled with self-doubt and failure. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to achieve his goals. One day, he decided to try an experiment. Every night before bed, he would repeat a simple affirmation: I am successful, confident, and capable. At first, nothing changed, but over time, he noticed a shift in his mindset. He began to feel more confident, take more risks, and seize opportunities he would have previously avoided. Within a year, he had achieved more than he ever thought possible. What made the difference? He had reprogrammed his subconscious mind. By consistently feeding it positive thoughts and beliefs, he transformed his self-image and in turn his reality. So how can you tap into the power of your subconscious mind? Hill gives us a few key strategies. Use autosuggestion. Repeat positive affirmations daily, especially before bed and upon waking. This is when your subconscious mind is most receptive. Visualize your goals. See yourself already achieving what you desire. Feel the emotions that come with success: joy, pride, gratitude. Eliminate negative influences. Protect your mind from negativity, whether it's from people, media, or your own self-talk. The subconscious mind doesn't argue or reason. It simply accepts whatever you feed it. That's why it's so important to be intentional about the thoughts you allow into your mind. The brain, the power of thought. Vibrations now. Let's move to the 9th principle, the brain. Hill explains that the brain is not just a physical organ, it's a transmitter and receiver of thought vibrations. Every thought you have sends out a frequency, like a radio wave, and attracts corresponding experiences, people, and opportunities into your life. Hill tells the story of a salesman who was struggling to close deals. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to connect with his clients. One day, he decided to change his approach. Before every meeting, he would sit quietly for a few minutes and visualize the conversation going perfectly. He imagined the client smiling, nodding, and agreeing to his proposal. He focused on feeling confident and enthusiastic. To his surprise, his results began to improve almost immediately. Clients responded more positively, and he started closing more deals. What had changed? He had shifted his thought vibrations. By focusing on positive outcomes, he was sending out a frequency that attracted success. So how can you harness the power of thought vibrations? Hill offers these tips. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Your brain doesn't distinguish between positive and negative thoughts. It simply attracts whatever you focus on. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you attract more things to be grateful for. Surround yourself with positive energy. Spend time with people who uplift and inspire you. Avoid those who drain your energy or bring you down. Part 10. The 6th sense and overcoming fear. Now that we've explored the subconscious mind and the power of thought vibrations, let's dive into 2 of the most profound principles in Think and Grow Rich: the 6th sense and overcoming fear. These principles reveal how intuition and courage can guide you toward success, and how fear can hold you back if you let it. The 6th sense, your gateway to infinite intelligence. Napoleon Hill describes the 6th sense as the creative imagination, or the receiving set, through which ideas, hunches, and inspirations flow. It's that gut feeling, that inner voice, that moment of clarity when you just know what to do. Hill calls it the apex of the philosophy, because it's the culmination of all the other principles. Hill shares a story about a businessman who was facing a major decision. He had to choose between 2 opportunities, and on paper, they both seemed equally good. He spent days analyzing the pros and cons, but he couldn't make up his mind. Finally, he decided to quiet his mind and listen to his intuition. He sat in a quiet room, closed his eyes, and focused on his breath. After a few minutes, he felt a strong sense of clarity. One of the opportunities felt right, while the other felt off. He trusted his gut and made the decision. Years later, he looked back and realized that following his intuition had saved him from a disastrous mistake. The opportunity he chose turned out to be incredibly successful, while the other one failed miserably. So how can you develop your 6th sense? Hill offers these tips. Practice silence. Spend time each day in quiet reflection or meditation. This helps you tune into your inner voice. Pay attention to hunches. When you get a gut feeling, don't ignore it. Explore it and see where it leads. Trust the process. The 6th sense often works in mysterious ways. You might not always understand why you feel a certain way, but trust that it's guiding you in the right direction. Hill also emphasizes that the 6th sense is closely tied to the other principles. When you have a burning desire, unwavering faith, and a clear plan, your 6th sense becomes sharper and more reliable. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Overcoming fear, the enemy of success. Now, let's move to the 11th principle, overcoming fear. Hill identifies fear as one of the biggest obstacles to success. It paralyzes us, clouds our judgment, and keeps us from taking action. But here's the good news. Fear can be conquered. Hill outlines the 6 basic fears that hold people back. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, fear of death. He explains that these fears are often rooted in ignorance and uncertainty. The more you understand them, the easier it is to overcome them. Hill tells the story of a woman who was terrified of public speaking. Every time she had to give a presentation, she would freeze up and forget her words. One day, she decided to confront her fear head-on. She joined a public speaking group, practiced regularly, and gradually built her confidence. Over time, she went from being paralyzed by fear to delivering powerful, inspiring speeches. What made the difference? She took action. Hill emphasizes that the only way to overcome fear is to face it. The more you avoid your fears, the stronger they become. But when you confront them, you realize they're not as powerful as they seem. So how can you overcome your fears? Hill gives us a few key strategies. Identify your fears, write them down, and examine them. What's the worst that could happen? Often you'll realize that your fears are exaggerated or irrational. Take small steps. Start by facing your fears in small, manageable ways. Gradually build up your confidence. Replace fear with faith. Focus on what you want to happen, not what you're afraid might happen. Hill also warns against indecision. He says that indecision is often a symptom of fear. When you're afraid of making the wrong choice, you end up making no choice at all. But as Hill puts it, indecision is the seedling of fear. The sooner you make a decision, the sooner you can take action and move forward. Part 12. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation and the Power of Decision. We've reached the final stretch of Think and Grow Rich, and now it's time to explore the last two principles. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation and the Power of Decision. These principles tie everything together and reveal how to channel your energy and focus into achieving extraordinary success. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Harnessing creative energy. Napoleon Hill describes sex transmutation as the process of redirecting sexual energy into creative and productive pursuits. He explains that sexual energy is one of the most powerful forces in the human body, and when harnessed correctly, it can fuel creativity, passion, and achievement. Hill shares a story about a young man who was struggling to find success in his career. He was talented and hardworking, but he lacked focus and drive. One day, he decided to experiment with sex transmutation. Instead of indulging in fleeting pleasures, he channeled his energy into his work. He set clear goals, created a detailed plan, and poured his passion into every task. The results were astounding. Within a year, he had achieved more than he ever thought possible. He became a leader in his field, earned the respect of his peers, and built a life of abundance and fulfillment. So how can you apply this principle in your own life? Hill offers these tips. Set clear goals. When you have a burning desire, it's easier to channel your energy into productive activities. Stay disciplined. Avoid distractions and stay focused on your priorities. Use your energy wisely. Instead of wasting your energy on temporary pleasures, invest it in activities that bring you closer to your goals. Hill also emphasizes that sex transmutation isn't about repression, it's about redirection. It's about using your energy to create something meaningful and lasting. The power of decision, the final key to success. Now, let's move to the 13th and final principle, the power of decision. Hill calls decision-making the ultimate mastery of procrastination. He explains that successful people are decisive. They make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if at all. Hill tells the story of a man who was offered a partnership in a new business. At first, he was hesitant. He weighed the pros and cons, sought advice from friends, and agonized over the decision. But the more he hesitated, the more uncertain he became. Finally, he realized that his indecision was costing him the opportunity. He made a firm decision to accept the partnership and never looked back. The business became incredibly successful, and the man often reflected on how close he had come to missing out. What made the difference? His ability to make a decision and stick to it. So how can you become more decisive? Hill gives us a few key strategies. Trust your instincts. Don't overthink every decision. Sometimes your first instinct is the right one. Take responsibility. Don't blame others if things go wrong. Learn from your mistakes and move forward. Commit fully. Once you've made a decision, give it your all. Half-hearted efforts lead to half-hearted results. Hill also warns against the dangers of indecision. He says that indecision is often rooted in fear of failure, fear of criticism, or fear of the unknown. But as Hill puts it, The world has a habit of making room for the man whose words and actions show that he knows where he is going. And there you have it, the 13 principles of Think and Grow Rich. From the burning desire that ignites your dreams to the power of decision that turns them into reality, Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom provides a roadmap for achieving success in any area of life. But remember, this isn't just a book, it's a call to action. Success doesn't come from reading or thinking alone. It comes from applying these principles day in and day out until they become a part of who you are. So as you close this chapter, ask yourself, what is your burning desire? What steps will you take today to move closer to your goals? Because the truth is, you have everything you need to succeed. The power lies within you. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Think and Grow Rich. If you found this summary valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Book Blink for more insights and inspiration. And remember, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to take the first step. Until next time, keep thinking, keep growing, and keep striving for greatness. Your success story is waiting to be written.